Those creative teams that are working with the same passion and care as we do for our films will be creating programs for Disney+. The platform allows us to have a new relationship with our fans.
Erratic.com.
A new relationship with fans. That is something Star Wars has needed for quite some time, but I look at this image here, and I think we at the Fandom Menace should just pack up our bags and go home. Everything is obviously cleared up, although the image looks more like this. Now, it wasn't lost on me that Kathleen Kennedy was talking about passion while reading off of a teleprompter and sounding like she was at a town hall meeting. So it's being bandied about out there by some people on the internet, stating that Star Wars is saved. And if you have to state that, then you acknowledge there was a problem. And there has been a major problem. And the answer for me is absolutely not, because of this image. This single image destroys Star Wars and one of my favorite characters. And that is on top of this image, which destroys one of my favorite characters. They have a long way to go to win me back, to get me buying books, to get me buying action figures and caring about the lore. I will cover it for the channel, but it's general apathy with me. I have made it absolutely no secret. Now, admittedly, there were a couple of good things. The Mandalorian trailer looks slick. It looked good, but it was just a trailer. I will be covering every episode if they release it weekly. The Obi-Wan announcement was good, but we all know that Obi-Wan will probably be led around by Aunt Beru, who it turns out will be the key to everything. I'm also a little excited for the Clone Wars. That was definitely a good show that I've got nothing bad to say about. It has been the one shining thing about Star Wars in the last 20 years. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of the prequels, but I like them a lot more considering what I've seen from Disney Star Wars, and we are still firmly in Disney Star Wars. And let's talk about that poster that the Access Media acknowledges looks like a cartoon. And this is from the Shiltastic Screen Rant. Why does Star Wars 9's Emperor Palpatine look like a cartoon? The first look at Emperor Palpatine in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is certainly not what many were expecting, looking more like an animated cartoon than the Dark Lord of the Sith that has terrified fans of a galaxy far, far away since 1983. Is this indicative of the movie or simply a product of marketing? I'll spare you the recap that most of this article is and get you to the last paragraph where the Access Media turns into the Access Media. A lot of the blame can fall on the lighting, with the blue glow from Rey and Kylo's fight, either Force lightning or a reference to the massive explosion from when the Emperor was killed, giving his face unnatural highlights. This, coupled with the mostly transparent ghost, removes him heavily from reality. Beyond that, there's no avoiding that the poster, the style of which is unique from what's been done for previous sequel trilogy entries, is going for a more vibrant, heightened style that works against the more classical, realistic Drew Struzan posters we've become accustomed to. As such, this may not be indicative of how Palpatine will look in the finished movie. Well done, Access Media. Way to lay it on thick. And our good friend Ichibaka at Star Wars is Dumb points out that this looks like it might have been traced from an Emperor Palpatine Hot Toys. While there are still many out there that absolutely deny that there is a problem with this franchise, I can just show you a couple more pictures that'll be a great example of that. The clearance rack at Walmart that has Snoke for 75 cents. It turns out kids don't want to play with a meaningless dead character from a meaningless new trilogy. And then, of course, fan favorite, Rose Tico going for 50 cents on the clearance rack. If these characters were a success, they would be moving on with them, because I think there still may be some truth to the rumors I reported on a week ago that George might be getting some residuals, and certainly he would maybe get some from that Obi-Wan show, but he wouldn't get it from The Mandalorian, which just looks like a repurposed Boba Fett movie, and the Obi-Wan show looks like a repurposed Obi-Wan movie. So it doesn't look like we're getting anything new. And again, they're both prequels. It's very easy to tell a prequel story because part of your story is already written for you. But I'm sure it wasn't lost on any of you that there was more excitement for The Mandalorian than there was for Rise of Skywalker. And of course, there was some footage where Rey looks like she's going to the dark side with a double lightsaber, and nobody is going to believe this. It's probably some part of a flashback, or maybe Red Letter Media is right and they're going to be doing some sort of time travel. And the one thing that poster does kind of confirm to me that there will be a big battle at the end with the Emperor, which may confirm some of the spoilers out there. There's tons of them. I don't know what to believe, and I really don't care about plot spoilers because I don't care about this movie. Why? Because this thing, as far as the narrative is concerned, has been directionless from the get-go. It is certainly clear the only priority they had going into Star Wars, aside from making money, was to fill it full of partisan agenda and feminism and LA and Hollywood's brand of politics that really doesn't resonate with the rest of the world or half of the country. And you ended up alienating half of your fans, and when they gave you some clapback, you decided to sling around in the mud with them and attack them back, especially when a director of a major billion-dollar film starts attacking fans. That's not a good look, even with people who agree with him. We here at the Fandom Menace have gotten a lot of quote-unquote allies in this rebellion for Star Wars, this nerdbellion, over Rian Johnson and his tweets and his act and his smugness. And it goes beyond that. And then we have the shill access media protecting them at every turn. Why do you think these channels have gotten such traction here on YouTube? Because there was no alternative. I will state this again and again because some people just don't seem to get that. So, how can Star Wars actually be saved? Well, it would take the impossible. It would take an apology. Yes, a simple apology. Yes, we would be upset about Han and Luke, but we could move on with being fans if Disney would acknowledge that they've made mistakes as far as their customer service is concerned, as far as their treatment of the general fandom is concerned, and they're weaponizing the access media against the fandom. Now, we will never get this, but a good start might be a memorandum passed around Disney, Marvel, and Lucasfilm stating that the fans are off limits. Fans will be fans. Maybe Disney just doesn't realize this because they think they have gotten so big they can control the flow of information, and they have certainly tried. But they are 100% responsible in creating the Fandom Menace, who isn't a small collective of Russian bots. We are a large collective of individuals united in the principle of respecting the fans, despite what anybody says on Twitter recently. But what was one of the biggest takeaways from The Last Jedi? Kill the past. Well, maybe not so fast. That's what I got from D23. Maybe we want that past to hang around a little bit longer, and maybe it is worth paying George some residuals if that is indeed true. I reported on that last week. Video will be right here. And a little bit more evidence towards that. A couple things that I could have made a separate video on, but I decided to make this a big Star Wars smorgasbord. Marvel Comics is canceling their most consistent selling comic, Star Wars, which sells an average of 40,000 copies a month, which previously sold 1 million copies for its first issue in 2015, which actually I call BS on, because if that were true, then every comic shop in the country would have had to order 33,000 copies. So I'm guessing they fudged the numbers on that, where they might have fudged the numbers on their theme parks. Again, video will be right here. Within this article on the Garbage Tier IO9, they speculate the same thing I do, that they're going to cancel the series and relaunch it with the new characters. Why would you do that? You can have your original trilogy and prequel characters live forever in the comic, and all you'd have to do is start a new title. Why cancel this one? But we also learned from our friends at Clownfish TV and the Pirates and Princesses blog that Galaxy's Edge was originally supposed to have original trilogy characters, and they decided against it. Why? Because Bob Iger saw the dailies from the new Star Wars movies and was so excited about them that he wanted to change the park. While I certainly believe this article, I don't believe the reason given by this Imagineer. I find that very hard to believe, so there's some more circumstantial evidence towards the rumors I reported on. But at the end of the day, a saying I can't believe I just said, mine slap me for that, it doesn't really matter, because the damage is done. D23 excited some people with The Mandalorian, but again, it was more exciting than The Rise of Skywalker. We have yet to see an actual trailer, and if they do release a trailer, I will probably do a reaction on the Inquisition tonight. That is a live stream I do every Sunday at 6 p.m. with Overlord DVD Doomcock himself, and we will be on my channel tonight, so do tune in because we will be covering everything D23. Until then, everybody have a great day. Please like, share, and subscribe, and not all who wander are lost unless you are Lucasfilm.
Erratic.com. Please subscribe.